Hi, I'm Patricia Rockman with the Center for Mindfulness Studies, and this is the fourth of a number of videos that we are offering you during this period of uncertainty and difficulty. A number of people have asked us to offer some practice or ideas around how to deal with a number of issues that are coming up during these times, and one of them was emotional resilience. And I think this is obviously a really important one since many of us are struggling at different times and maybe noticing an increase in our emotional ups and downs or what is known as lability. I know I sure am. And so we can begin by thinking about what is resilience. And I think of resilience as the ability to recover quickly from a stressor. It's not that you don't react. It's not that you're not going to feel sad or mad or anxious or scared, or agitated. But really, when these things come up, how quickly can we recover from them? I think this is really what's at issue. And also, what happens? What do we do when these things show up? Okay, so there's a number of things we can do. One thing we can do is stop. A lot of you know the stop practice. So when we notice that we have an awareness, some kind of an alarm that signals to us that we are in distress, and that may show up for some of us in our thinking. It may show up in the body. It may show up in terms of how we label our emotions, or maybe we find ourselves doing things that we realize we're doing because we are distressed. Now, that could be anything. It's different for different people. It could be clenching your jaw, it could be pacing, it could be having that extra drink, staying on your cell phone game for that much longer, any number of things. And these kinds of coping strategies can be helpful. But on the other hand, they may not be of service to us when dealing with resistance and resilience. So how do we recognize what's happening? This is our first step in order to become more resilient. So when we recognize what our own personal alarm signature is, we can check in, we can stop. So let's just do that right now, maybe closing your eyes for a moment and stopping and taking a breath. And just checking in with what's here right now. What's showing up in thinking. What's showing up in emotions. In the body inside. And then, if the eyes are closed, opening them, and part of that observation process, taking in what's going on in the room around you, in the environment. This can be a way to just give a little space between your reactivity and what is, really going on, or what you might do instead of getting totally wound up. Okay, so that's one. And then also, if resilience is also about recovery, as we said, it's about awareness and about skillful action. Because when we get distressed, we may have all kinds of thoughts and we don't know if they're true or not. I had an exchange today with my husband in which I thought something was going on that really wasn't. And why was that? It was because I didn't really have enough information. And as my colleague and friend Alison McClay pointed out to me, when we don't have information, we tend to fill in the gaps, often in a negative way. So if you're in a situation and you're having particular thoughts, recognize that not all our thoughts are to be believed. And so we need to check them out. We may need to ask ourselves whether we have evidence for what we're believing. We might ask ourselves the pros and cons of thinking this way. Or if it involves another person, we might ask for clarification, like, oh, here's what I'm thinking is going on, and I'd like to check it out. I wonder if that's true. Can you please tell me? So these are just some, small ways we can begin to try to work with resilience. And I guess lastly, there are many more, but a really simple one is to, as we've talked about, I think in other videos, but is to bring attention to the soles of the feet when you know that you are really activated. If you're finding it difficult to come to the breath, really drop your attention into the soles of the feet on the ground, on the floor, and sensing into this. Or perhaps even placing a hand on the abdomen and breathing for a few minutes. Or if you need to get away from wherever you are and we can't go out, go into the bathroom for a few moments and take a few calming breaths. So on that note, let's just take 3 calming breaths together. Letting all that air out. Breathing deeply into the belly. And on that note, I wish you as lovely a day as you can have.